Hey guys, and welcome back to Drifter of Darkness. Now, before I get too much into this video, I wanted to point out that I do actually have a new microphone, so we're giving this a little bit of a test run. The audio should be a lot better this time around. This is actually a lapel mic, and I'm actually hooking it into my iPhone directly. I will be doing a review on that later on. But for right now, this is going to be a movie review that is long overdue. I put off doing movie reviews until I got better audio equipment because I did not want to put out a review promoting or talking about any sort of movie and not have you guys actually able to hear me talking about it. So that being said, apologies on the late review. Now, the movie that we are actually going to be talking about today is called The Childish Thing, which came out in 2017. The basic idea of this movie is a young guy is losing his childhood home and he's supposed to be home cleaning it up, and he stumbles across stuff that reminds him of his childhood and his brother, and it kind of stirs up something in the house. Now, when we get to what's actually in the house, one of those things that it makes you really remember when you were young and you didn't know why necessarily that you were scared of like a big monster or something, but you still had that fear of, I don't want to be alone, I don't know what it's going to do to me, help me. And for me, I thought this was a very cool kind of thing to do for a film, considering nowadays we have so many films that are just about like let's see how much blood we can get on camera. And this film is not about that. The story for the film is pretty straightforward. It's moving at a fairly steady pace. And the fact that the movie only lasts for a total runtime of about, I think it's 30 minutes long, it does progress rather fast. The cool thing that I really found myself enjoying about this movie after having watched it is the fact that the idea is so complete. It's something that is very, well thought out. I've seen a lot of indie films and short films where they start the movie with a really good idea and then they don't know where to go with it later on. With the acting in the film, there's only 4 actual actors, okay? You only see 3 of the actual actors on camera. This film is proof that you don't have to have a massive cast to have a good, cohesive story and a good cast of actors. I know there are a lot of people that do short films that try to cram everybody and their brother into the film just for the sake of having them on film. And that can cause a lot of problems. This movie avoids that. 3 actors that are the main characters. Morgan McLeod is the main actor in the film, and I felt that he did a really good job of portraying a very nervous and concerned character. He knows that there's something going on in the house. He knows what it is in the house, but he doesn't necessarily want to believe it, and he wants other people to kind of believe him. But the other actors in the film, they both do a really good job of bringing in 2 other completely different dynamics for the characters, because with Morgan's character being so scared and nervous throughout the entire movie, with them having the 2 different kind of personalities, with one wanting to stay for Morgan's sake and the other one's kind of like, oh, just blow it off, whatever. It works, and the fact that one's believing it and one is not. All 3 actors in the movie and even the voiceover, they do a really good job in this. And to be honest, they're probably better actors than I've seen in, some Hollywood blockbuster films. I mean, that's just how it is. As far as going into this, if you're a fan of gore films or, super gruesome films, this is not that kind of film. You may be disappointed if that's what you think you're going to watch. This film has no on-screen gore whatsoever, but I'm okay with that. And the reason I'm okay with that is I feel that this movie being that it's trying to take this kind of like childhood fear and trauma and bring it more into an adult realm, I think it does a good job because it keeps the charm but adds that creep factor to it that if you had just a bunch of blood splattering all over the place, you're not going to get that genuine creepy atmosphere. Retain that childhood, oh, something's going to get me, but I don't know what's going to happen kind of feel to it. So I like the fact that they didn't go psycho with the gore and stuff on this movie. As far as actually being scary, there are not necessarily a bunch of jump scare moments. And I think a lot of people, when they see the monster in this movie, are going to think, oh, wow, that's kind of silly. But when you think about the context of the movie and what the character and the creature are bringing to the film, I think that the character or the creature itself works to portray the idea. It's creepy in the fact that this is something that you probably thought about when you were, 5, 6 years old. And the only thing that you watch on TV or when you were like really young was stuff like Sesame Street and the kind of like Muppety characters. So you have this idea that monsters are basically things that don't look like people. And I'm going to be honest, there were, I think, about 3 parts in the film. One was on a build-up scene, and then there were a couple in the final confrontation scene with the creature that I found to actually give me chills and actually give me kind of this creep-out factor that was refreshing, because it wasn't something I was expecting to be like creeped out by, but it actually worked. So props for that. The soundtrack through the movie, and this is something that a lot of indie films don't take into consideration or don't take seriously. You have to have music. You have to have build-ups. You have to have that whole atmosphere to really make a movie creepy. And this movie does a good job of that. They have the build-ups to the creepiness and the like spooky scenes all in the right spots. So it works. The music that is like the main title music throughout the film is a very recognizable track. After I watched the film and then I actually saw the trailer online, when Jeremy sent the trailer to me, I instantly recognized the music going with, the scenes in the movie. And I instantly thought about those particular scenes that kind of were creepy to me. So the sound and the soundtrack really fit the film and really kind of go with it. The quality of this film for an indie film and being a short film is amazing. I mean, I literally had just watched a DVD the other night that was a movie that was supposed to be a big budget film, and I gotta say, the quality of that movie did not stack up to this movie, The Childish Thing. The angles that are accomplished, the film quality itself, everything is really crisp, really spot on, and works super well. I was very impressed. I feel that Dylan Lusk did a bang-up job on this movie with all of the different angles, just the general quality, and the understanding of how to set up the scene. A lot of times, again, with indie films and short films, you see the camera in angles that don't work, they're too far away, you don't achieve what you're setting out to do. Overall on this film, I personally loved it. I try to base films on if I would watch them again as to what my score or whatever my overall outcome for the film would actually be. And I've got to say that this is one that I would definitely watch again. And I would even watch it again after that, showing it to someone else or something. It brought back that whole childhood memory of this is what was scary to me when I was a kid. And it brought back that kind of like wonder and excitement that I remember from my childhood. And that is not something that we see in many modern movies, unfortunately. Currently, this film is actually going through the film festival circuit. If you do get a chance to see this film, do go see it. I'm so happy that I got the opportunity to see this film as a screener from Jeremy himself. I would love to see this again. I would like to see it if I do see that it's playing somewhere near me. I would also really hope for some sort of a DVD release of this film, because this one's really good. And I want to give a huge thanks and a shout out to Jeremy Herbert and everyone involved in the making of this picture, because you guys did an awesome job with this. Keep up the good work. I'm excited to see anything else that you guys come up with. I'm Cole Havoc, and this has been Drifter of Darkness Film Fridays.